I got into the bass just by chance. I didn't really think that that's what I was going to be getting into. I just happened upon the bass, actually, is really what happened. My uncle had my jazz bass that I have now. He had that for sale, so I just picked that up from him, and it kind of started from there. I had an interest in it before that I'm not sure why I was drawn to it. I was, and I just kind of stuck with it. I figured the world has enough guitarists, so. If I can take something apart and put it back together and it still be usable, that's an accomplishment in my eyes. It just seems to be the logical way for me to go about things. I get interested in something, I learn how it works mechanically, and I take it apart, reassemble it. That's just how I learn it better as a result of that, and I understand basses and musical instruments better as a result of learning their inner workings and just literally taking them apart and putting them back together. But when I first started, it was just getting over the fear of taking apart your instrument, because for some reason, a lot of people are really afraid to. They think they need to take their instrument to a licensed technician or something to put strings on it or something. And you don't need to be that afraid. It's a piece of wood when it gets down to it, so. The first pedal I bought was the bass Big Muff. When I opened it up the first time, I definitely thought, nope, I have to buy a new pedal. This is ridiculous. But it was daunting at first, but it's what it comes down to. I was trying to be as economical as possible to make this still usable. Instead of just buying a new Big Muff for, another $100 on a pedal that I may or may not like, I might as well try and modify what I have. So just the internet, I just started looking around. I didn't know where to go, and I still have no one definite source. It's just forums anywhere I can find the info. Well, it just all went downhill from there. I just started buying basses and parts left and right, just accumulating things like a cat woman. So yeah, I just started basically hanging out on Craigslist, looking for parts and basses, just anything I could get a hold of, taking them apart, reassembling them in strange combinations. I first heard about Specimen one day when my mom actually pointed out there was a Groupon for their classes, and I wasn't able to take the classes at the time, but I took note of it because it was something that I wanted to do. I got extremely lucky when I got the internship at Specimen. I sent him an email just saying I'm looking for a job, an internship, anything. I'll sweep your floors. I don't care. I want to be here. So just let me know what's up. And they emailed me back, told me to come in for an interview, and we were talking, and they thought it'd be a good idea. I was really excited. I immediately put in my 2 weeks notice at my job. So I went from getting paid to not getting paid, willingly not getting paid for a minimum of 6 months, but I was excited. It's what I want to do. It still is what I want to do, but it was like walking into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory for me. That's what it was. It was the most magical thing I could have ever just happened upon. But there's just tools, there's wood, there's a number of instruments in any sort of state of repair. There's amps everywhere. There's all our custom work being done. It's a really cool place. So we're most known for our stereo hi-fi systems and our speakers, and mostly for the horn shapes that come out the top. But we also do custom guitars, basses, ukuleles, mandolins. We'll make anything that you want to commission us to do, so we've made some kooky instruments. So my skills have been applied at Specimen mostly in our repair work. All the reasons I learned them in the first place, I can now actually use in the shop, because sometimes we do come across instruments that Ian isn't as familiar with, because he being a guitarist, even though he repairs all instruments, he is a guitarist, so mostly what he knows are guitars, and occasionally there do come in bass instruments that I am more familiar with than him, so it's beneficial from time to time, and it's also helped me learn more about instruments. Depending on what we're doing, a typical day could actually just be 7 to 5 hours of sanding. Like, I mean, and your hands are gonna hurt. You're gonna get a lot of intern jokes complaining about our hands being sore, but I mean, some days that's just what you have to do. You gotta sand things. Like our projects, it changes a lot. So you don't always know what you're gonna be doing from day to day. You know, we went from building horns out of cardboard and dryer lint to making molds out of epoxy and fiberglass. And then we just made the spiral horns for Andrew Bird's tour out of dowel rods and more cardboard. I've done some work on our project for Jack White. Mostly work for Andrew Bird. Just for our show at the MCA we did with him and stuff that he uses for his tours. That's mostly what I've been working on. I always hoped that it would lead somewhere. I mean, it just started out as me taking basses and pedals apart in my room, and that was just what I did. I didn't really put much more thought into it. And then as I got more interested in it, I hoped that I could make some sort of job or career out of it. So I wasn't really sure how realistic of a goal it could be. But so far it's working out, so I'm enjoying it at least. I've learned a lot since working there, and it's been a great experience. And hopefully I'll be able to continue working there and either just, I don't know where I'm gonna go from there. If I go anywhere from there, if I can just stay there, that'd be fantastic. But I'm not really sure where I'm going with this interest in basses and just musical instruments, but I hope I can at least keep it a part of my life in some way for, as long as possible.